Hello, friends, six-figure mentors. Good evening to you from Southern California, Burbank, California. It is Beth the Sybil, aka Beth Schneider. Happy to be with you this evening. And what I'm thinking about tonight is a phrase that is in The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles, where he says there is nothing that humans shrink from more than that of sustained and consecutive thought. It is the hardest thing in the world. So that's pretty powerful, since you might think that since we have access to our thought, we don't have to wait for someone to give us permission to think our thoughts, that would be one of the easiest things for us to do, would be to think as we choose to think, when in fact, and I feel that there is absolute truth there, it is the hardest thing in the world to sustain consecutive thought, because we all have thoughts constantly, but the nature of them tend to be kind of confusing. I'm over here one moment, and I'm over here, and they're intersecting, and a little of this and a little of that. And of course, you know, if I'm traveling to the east and then I'm traveling back to the west, I don't really get anywhere, because I'm not consistently and consecutively going in one particular direction. So if we have visions, if we have goals, things that we want to advance our life towards, it does require consistent and consecutive thought in the same direction. So I find that very important for me to pay attention to. And one of the things that I find helpful in this regard, because it's just a natural thing, the mind wanders, it gets lazy, tired. My mind will get lazy and tired. And if I bring back, might bring myself back just simply to the question of what would most advance me in this moment. It might be something as simple as just chill out. Take a few moments to meditate, to just rest. But I'm coming at it from the vantage point of how do I advance myself in this moment? Because that thought of how do I advance myself is, I advance as I draw into that sense of totality, of the oneness of all things, because all life advances as one. So if I think for a moment, what is the choice in this moment, in this simple moment, that would most advance myself? Whatever that is, if I'm putting it in that framework, then I'm unifying with the substance of life itself, with the Tao, with the flow of the river of life. And in that moment, that unity of thought comes into place, where I am supporting myself towards this advancement, that I get to ride on the wave of life itself, rather than being discombobulated and going a little of this way and a little of that way. So that's what I just want to share, something that is really helpful to me, that I remind myself when I feel a little discombobulated or scattered, what would most advance me in this moment. And I jump into being supported and feeling that empowerment from all that is, because as it is very poignantly put in The Science of Getting Rich, it's the nature of life to advance itself. Like the tree starts as a seed and it grows. And it's funny how, you know, I love nature. I love our Mother Earth. And that I don't really notice the trees that are growing around me. Like sometimes I'll look at trees that are in my neighborhood and I'm like, wow, remember that tree a few years ago? But day to day when I'm walking my dog, I don't really notice that it's actually growing. But right before our very eyes, everything is growing. And then suddenly it's dynamically different. And it's like, wow, when did that happen? And that's just like us each day. We make an advance just a little bit, and it may be almost seem inconsequential to anyone that's looking, but then it keeps building and building and building, and we just are enlarged with life itself. So I thank you all so much for listening. Blessings to you on your journey, and peace out. Love.